Hey guys, so this is probably gonna be the most exciting video ever. I know this is probably gonna be a really long video, so I'm just gonna get right into it. So a few days ago, it was like October 18th, my friend Benjamin had tickets for, the Time, or they're now known as the Original Seven, for the concert at the Nokia Club. I have like the stuff right here, so that's what I was looking at. Which the show was October 19th, but the day before that, October 18th, they're doing a screening of their new documentary, and anyway, at first I was like, he was like, do you want to go to the screening of the documentary the night before? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. The thing is, like, I didn't know that the band was going to be there. And when I learned that, I got even more excited, and I was like, oh my gosh. So, it was at the Grammy Museum, actually. And, so we get there, and you could sit wherever you want. And I was surprised to see that the front row wasn't all taken already. And I was like, oh my god, you want to sit in the front row? And I was like, I had to get the aisle seat because I'm like claustrophobic, actually. So, yeah. So, somebody's taking a shower. Can you hear that? Anyway, so we sat in the front row, and he was like, my friend Benjamin was like, look, there's like 7 seats on the stage. And the stage, it was like a little stage. It wasn't, and it was like a small screening room, you know what I mean? So it was really close, and I was like, oh my gosh, and there was like a screen, and it was, I can't believe it. Anyway, so I was like, the Time, the Original Seven, they're gonna be like right there. So anyway, we watched the documentary. It was like an hour and 20 minutes. It was really good. I learned a lot about like the relationship with Prince and everything back in the day that happened that I didn't know, and how, like, what was one of the stories? Like, actually, when Prince and the Time were performing together, they're on tour together, Prince was a little, like, he was kind of like, he was like, I have to follow that. Like, he was kind of almost intimidated by them because they were such good performers. So they would like throw eggs at each other, or have a food fight and chase each other down. And Prince like even took their name off the, what's it called, the marquee, and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so after the documentary, before the documentary, actually, sorry, like Jimmy Jam came out and he did like an introduction. So I was like, oh my god, Jimmy Jam. And these guys like tall, and I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so Jimmy Jam, he's like tall, and I was like, he's right there. And I was like, oh my. So he did a little intro, then the documentary. Then after, this guy, another guy, I don't know who it was, he introduced the Time, and they came out. I thought they were gonna come out from like backstage, but they came out through like the side door, the door that we came in. So they came out, and I was like, no way. And everybody stood up and clapped, and like, yeah. And then they all sat down, and they were right there in front of me. And I was like, no way. And I was shaking because they are right there. And I was shaking. I remember looking at my hand, and I was just like, and I was like just looking at all of them. I was like, oh my god, I'm freaking out. So I guess it caused my stomach to quiver. So yeah, and then there's a Q&A session going on, and I was too chicken to ask anything, and I regretted it when the guy that was kind of doing the announcements, whatever, he was like, okay, one more question, and then somebody asked, and I was like, well, that's it. I was sad, and I was like, well, I didn't even know what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask for a hug, but I was too wet. Whatever. Anyway, so then, and when you're in the front row, it's like they're kind of like look in the audience and they're gonna look around. So like I made eye contact with some of them, and I was like, I flipped out over that. I was like, oh my god, like they just looked at me. One of them, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Jerome actually was like the first one that kind of like, he was looking at me, and I was like, I smiled and he smiled, and he was kind of like, he kind of went like that, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I thought he was just doing that. Oh my eye. I thought he was just doing that because like a little fan, a young girl. You know, I look young, but I'm 18, which is young, but I'm not like 12. Anyway, so that was the look. I don't know that I guess he gave me, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then whenever one of them would look at me, I would like. Look, sometimes I just look down at the floor at my hands because be like, I can't look at them. What do I do? Do I smile? I don't know. I flipped out, and Jesse Johnson, of course, and I was just like, oh my god. I flipped when they just looked at me. I was like, oh my god. Anyway, so then after the Q&A thingy, they kind of just like walked off. I thought they were gonna go backstage or like they're gonna be escorted out, but just kind of walked off, you know. And people were standing around, and it was like very chill. And the first person we see just like standing still in the theater with us was Jesse Johnson. And we kind of like, we walked up to him, and people were getting a picture and talking and stuff. And some people were actually just leaving. And I was like, hello, Jesse Johnson. And he actually asked, he was trying to talk to me. He was like asking, he asked me, are you from Minneapolis or LA? And I couldn't talk. Nothing came out, you guys. I was just like, I was smiling, you know, but I was just like, I got like, I was all mixed up, everything going through my head. And I was like, I live in LA, but I'm not from LA. I've never been to Minneapolis. So I couldn't answer. I was just like, starstruck again. He was trying to talk to me, and I was like, so when I think about that, I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, but we got a picture with him, and it was so awesome. They're so nice. He's nice. Get to the other ones in a minute, but he's so nice and chill. And he was like asking me a question, and I didn't answer because I flipped. Anyway, so yeah, we got a picture. And if you haven't seen that picture, I will show you right now. So yeah, awesome. And also, I forgot to mention Morris. He was there, and during the Q&A when they're on stage, you know, they're sitting. But he had sunglasses on, so I don't know if he looked at me or not. I don't know. But he's wearing sunglasses. And anyway, so we go out to like outside the theater. Like the exhibits are here, and this little area right here. Anyway, and the rest of them are out there too, except Morris. Morris wasn't there. I'm just gonna call it the lobby, even though it wasn't. I'm calling it that. Anyway, he wasn't there. But Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam and Jerome and Monty and Jelly Bean, and if I'm missing any, oh, Jesse Johnson, we already met him. They're all there, and I didn't get a picture with Terry Lewis or Jimmy Jam because like it seemed that people were having long conversations with them, and it was kind of just hard to get a picture with them. But Benjamin like talked to them and like shook their hand and everything, and I was just standing there freaking out, and I think I just smiled at them. I remember, I know my memory's foggy. I might think like this happened 50 years ago, but you know, so many things going through your head, and yeah, I think I just remember saying big fan. Not even I'm a big fan. I just like big fan. Just like, anyway, so we go to Jerome. We see Jerome, and I'm like, oh my god, no to the way under the cherry moon, the mirror. Anyway, so Jerome, and then Jerome says to me, he's like, I know you. I've seen you. And I was just kind of, and I was just like, oh. And I thought he meant because he just saw me in the theater. And I was like, yeah. In my head, I was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, I love what you do, or whatever. And I was so confused, and I was like, what? And he was talking about my videos, you guys. And I was just like, what, you've seen the videos, or whatever? And he's like, oh, he described one of them when I was walking by a building, and I was like, oh, the House of Blues one. And he's seen my videos, you guys. And I was just like, what? And he said, I love what you do. And he also was talking about some kind of, if you mess with Jerome, you'll get messed up. So don't mess with Jerome. So, I don't know, he kind of went into a whole thing that I was very confused about, but I just kept smiling, and I was like, So, yeah, and then he gave me a hug, and it was like a nice, tight little squeezy kind of hug, and a kiss on the head, like, mwah, like, ooh, just like a very tender, nice little moment, and I was just like, ah. It was insanity. Oh, and I'll show you the picture of Jerome right now. So yeah, and then we kind of went walking around a little more. We talked to Monty, and he was super nice. He was like, hey. I don't know why we didn't get a picture with him. It's like, when you're in that moment, you're like, it felt like a dream, and it just, I don't know. But, and then we saw Jellybean. I think we said hi to him. And then at first we forgot to take a picture with him. And then when we were going down the escalator, I was like, you know what? We should have got a picture with Jellybean. Like, we just talked to him. And so Jellybean is coming down the escalator right after us. And we're like, oh, there he is. And then he walks outside like a regular person. And we're like, let's go take a picture outside. So, yeah, and he was super nice and he's super tall. Oh my god. Anyway, I'll show you the picture of Jellybean right now. And here's a little program. It got wet. A little program for the Grammy Museum. Yeah. 80-minute film entitled The Original Seven chronicles how 7 young musicians. I don't have to redo this, do I? Oh, yeah, it was absolutely magical, and I couldn't believe it. You know, when you meet somebody that you admire so much, it's like out of this world, crazy. So I want you to leave me in the comments if you ever met anyone famous that you admire. How did you feel? What did you do? Did you just see them but you're too nervous to say hi or anything like that? I would love to know your stories. So yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so last part of this video is over here because I don't know why. At first, to film this video, I was actually going to wear this tank top. But then I was like, nah, let's put something over it. So yeah. I actually already filmed this video like the night I got back from the meet and greet thing. But I didn't like it. The lighting was like bad. It was in the lobby. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. The hotel lobby. Alright, so that's about it. I hope you have a wonderful night.